How's it going? It's Ken Miller, and this is Miss Carolina Ray, and we're going to go over some instructional video here looking at the use of the Hypervolt and the shoulder complex. So not just the shoulder, but also the scapular, thoracic, or around the shoulder blade. So if you have clients that are having issues with bringing their arms up overhead, one of the things that you can do as part of the movement preparation or as part of their corrective exercise strategy is to use one of these tools that helps facilitate the relaxation or the inhibition of overactive areas. So because the shoulder complex is pretty complex, you do have to have some strategy when it comes to addressing what areas need to be relaxed. So for a lot of people, if you're behind the computer a lot or just tend to carry stress up in the upper traps, this is one key area to address. But the other areas that can't be ignored are, again, lower traps, because if a client tends to hold their shoulders a little bit more forward, true, it's a little bit stretched, but there is still some tension. So a lot of relief can be gained not just by addressing the upper traps, but also right here between the shoulder blades and the spine. But right around the corner, right around the lower angle of the shoulder blade and into the shoulder, you have the lats. So in this whole area, we can work our way around the shoulder blade, again, using this tool that we love to use here at the training station called the Hypervolt. So with Carolina on the table, you'll notice that I have her here positioned on her side. Now with that being said, that gives us a lot of opportunity, or me an opportunity, to kind of reposition, move her arm around so she's just laying there and I'm moving her shoulder passively, and I can get her in different position and even use different practical techniques using the Volt. So based on tolerance, and I already having worked with Carolina, I know that she's pretty good with level 1, 2, or 3 with the different amplitude and frequency. So I'm just going to start off nice and easy with the first setting. I'm going to set right here, more on the top side, so I'm going to have her relax. So I'm holding her arm, and I'm just going to come right above the shoulder blade, right on this upper ridge, up into the upper traps. Now, if it's a newer client, I do want to be careful that I'm not getting too far up to where it might be uncomfortable because of the percussion or the vibration and any kind of discomfort they may have as you get closer to the head and neck. How you doing there, Carolina?
Great.
Doing good? Okay, so I'm just going to go nice and slow, steady right here along the upper ridge. And I do want to be careful of any kind of bony notch. I want to stay on the muscles and I don't want to get on the bone. So I might be able to put my fingers right across the top. Be aware of any kind of landmarks that can be a little uncomfortable for the client. So just nice and easy. Come around here, just watch out for the AC joint as you come around the front. And I'll hover around there. Now as I come right around the medial border of the shoulder blade, I can work this ridge right in here, stay on the muscles. Now also, if you can see the spine, which Carolina is pretty shredded over here, so we can kind of see where her muscles are lying, and work right on down there. Now as I explore different areas of the shoulder blade, I want to continually get some feedback from her and just make sure if things are still okay. So how's that feeling?
Very good.
So I work from the upper traps, levators, work my way around to the medial side of the shoulder blade, and I'm coming right around here, the lower angles. Now as I get around here more towards the lats, I might go ahead and change position, get on the underside of the arm. And now as her shoulder blade moves a little bit, as I raise her arms up overhead, now I can get right in here and into the lat itself. Now, the lat has a lot of neighbors. The one I'm really concerned about right about here is the teres major, and as you move up into the arm, now we can get into the deltoid, the posterior deltoid, or the rear shoulder, which can be a little tight, especially if they're not used to it. Now again, supporting her arm, and I can support it in different ways. So if I want to control her internal and external rotation, I can grab a little bit higher on the forearm have her get up into more of an overhead position. So let's say today is the day that she's doing overhead press, or maybe she's doing some Olympic lifting where she's working on her overhead snatch position. Now I can go ahead and make sure she has good shoulder flexion and start working this system of muscles coming from all the way up into the tricep, through the shoulder, and then down into the lats. And I can get into this from different angles, right in here. Okay, working my way down, bottom part of the shoulder blade. Again, watching for any kind of significant rebound, either because now I'm on the rib cage or on the shoulder blade, or just a tense area to begin with, and it's just offering a lot of resistance. So I can work about 10 swipes or about 30 seconds per area. So I can get right here through the shoulder blade, through the armpit posterior, and then up into the tricep. Now you'll see that I'll kind of linger in some areas. So if I feel that there's some tension in some areas, I might spend a little bit more time in there. And if she makes a comment like that area, oh yeah, I feel that there, I can kind of hang out in there. How's that tricep feeling? All right. So relaxing it right there. I won't do a whole lot through this area, but now as I get around, I can kind of swoop back in, kind of sweep through, taking your time. Now a lot of trainers I'll see, they'll kind of just go a little bit too fast, but just to make sure that you're not missing any areas, go along the muscles, the direction of the muscle fibers. You can work along the bony landmarks, and there you go. So that is the posterior shoulder using the Hypervolt.